So here we go. Mark McMillian joining us now to talk a little bit about the Rebels at the game today. This was a close call for Dan Mullen in his opener at UNLV, wasn't it? A lot of people worried.
I know the point spread. They didn't cover the point spread. But like I said, when you have 70 new guys on your team, it's kind of hard to just think you can just go roll out there. You got a new coach, new regime, so everybody's trying to get, comfortable in their own role. And Idaho State came out. They were slinging it, man, so they didn't back down. So I'm saying if I'm on Idaho State team, I'm coming out the same way. I'm like, you guys are supposed to be 4 or 5-star guys. I'm going to make a name off of yourself. And some of those kids did that for Idaho State today.
Mark, obviously you played in the league. You were a defensive back. We saw a lot of mistakes from the entire secondary, safeties, corners. It seemed like a lot of miscommunication out there. What did you see out there from those big plays from Idaho State that kind of were hurting the Rebels all night long?
When you give up 70 and 60-yard touchdown bombs, that is a lack of communication, a lack of discipline on the defensive back's side. You saw DBs running into each other, which is uncommon. You figure you got some veteran guys out there, and to be able to take the roof off the top of the secondary like that. They should not be out on the strip partying tonight. Those guys should be in their dorm room studying some film, trying to get better for the next go around. But like I said, the offense, I think they ran the ball pretty well. Both quarterbacks had a little bit of success. But like I said, for that defensive side of the ball, where we're used to seeing more of a attack-style defense, today it was they got shredded up like Swiss cheese.
No, got a few picks. Okay, the secondary did have a few key interceptions in this game, but still they were giving up too much yardage.
I got to call it like it is, man. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm sure if those guys are watching the show, they probably like, yeah, you're right, Mac. We did, give up some big time plays. You just can't you can't do that. And you got an offensive minded coach. We're used to the pass. They had a defensive minded coach, so that's the difference as well. But like I said, I'm sure they'll figure it out and get it going. If not, it's going to be a long season.
Mark, I want to talk. You mentioned the quarterbacks for a little bit. I want to talk both of those, Alex Orji and Anthony Calandra. Obviously, it's going to be a battle. We were out there seeing both of them. Both of them were making plays. Both of them kind of made some mistakes, some bad reads out there. What did you see from both guys?
Man, I saw some guys out there competing. You figure these guys are going to be trying to be QB1, and both guys made some mistakes. But I tell you, this young man out of Virginia, he lit up some, he had some really good runs, extended plays, made some really good throws. Like I said, I was a big fan of this guy. After today, I know we were on the sideline, and he turned the corner. I was like, man, he outran the angle. So I was like, man, he got a little white chocolate in him, man. He got a little speed in him. So I was impressed by the young guy. And you see the big transfer from Michigan here, going over the top. He is built like a tank. So, hopefully he can work on his passing game a little bit. Like I said, this is their first game out of the box, so we'll see how they go forward.
They got Sam Houston coming up next week. I think it's a Friday night game. And then UCLA comes to town.
The Bruins.
So the Bruins. So this team, and Dan Mullen knows this, they got to get their stuff together for better opponents coming up. A road game, and then UCLA coming up.
And that's how they started off the last couple of years. They win tight at home, then they go on the road and win a big one on the road, and then that just catapults those guys to a record-winning season. Now they got to try to do it this year. You got UCLA coming in a couple of weeks. Deshaun Foster has a lot to prove to the UCLA Bruin fans as well. It's a Big Ten opponent, so that'll look really good on your record.
And real quick, before we go to break, Mark, we got to highlight the crowd. I think Dan Mullen did a pretty good job of kind of getting everyone hyped, and he added the student section closer. He had a couple of students closer, and even the band. What did you see out there?
I like the atmosphere. I like the band being closer to the field. I like the students that they had the extended bleachers right there. So I think that was a good thing as far as a quarterback, head coach. He knows what it takes. He's been in big-time programs, Mississippi State, Florida, so he's trying to get the fans involved as much as possible. I know the fans are probably a little nervous after today, but you cannot blow out everybody. You can't blow everybody out. And like I said, at the end of the day, they are 1-0.
All right, Mark, stick around. We got to have you coming back. Got more football to talk about.
I'm here,
okay?
Let's go.
And food. Still ahead, more from the Little League World Series, plus a special sit-down with former NBA player Lamar Odom. There wasn't much off limits. We talked about anything and everything. His early basketball days, making headlines here in Las Vegas. Sports Wrap will be right back.